be harmful by opening up one chakra too much. The most important thing is to just open them all up in conjunction with each other as much as you can. And so I haven't actually memorized which color corresponds to what chakra and what shape, what platonic solid maybe even you could call it, corresponds to one chakra. But now that they're when the aliens talk about it, it's like, whoa, can you actually see it physically? The different colors coming into you and these different configurations coming into you? Whoa, okay, maybe I'll give that a try. So I'm going to take that more seriously now with different chakra meditations. And, different people do. Like they said that when Atlantis dissolved, some teachers in Atlantis went to South America and the mountains of South America. So they started the Incan Empire, and then the other ones went and started they didn't mention the Mayan Empire. I don't know why, because they obviously did go there. But they also said some went to India and some went to Tibet. And so Tibetan Buddhism is not all about Gautama Buddha. Buddhism is not all about Buddhism. Because when you think Buddhism, you think in Tibetan Buddhism. But that's not the whole story, because Buddhism comes from Nepal. And it went to India for the first 1,000 or so years, up until 800 BC. So for 1,300 years, Buddhism, as we know it, or not as we know it, but Buddhism, I guess as we know it, from Gautama Buddha, is actually an Indian religion in India. And it was actually taught along with Thai massage, and then Thai massage went to Thailand. And then Buddhism moved into Tibet, but it integrated with a religion that was already there called Bon. And they have their own very ancient, very well-learned philosophical legacy and books and all this kinds of stuff. And so that originally came from Atlantis. And so they knew about the chakras, but also the Hindus too. But anyways, what was I talking about? So yeah, the Bonds, they have their own chakra activation exercises too, where they like spin their hands around like their heart chakra and go, so that's interesting stuff to practice if you want to ever try to do a chakra opening meditation. But and so that's what they're talking about, energy centers. And that's what sitting in a pyramid can do, is activate and align all of your energy centers, your chakras. And maybe if you can even build a pyramid. They said you could even maybe put a pyramid under your bed. And it doesn't even matter what the pyramid is made out of. It could be wood or anything. But I guess there's some materials you don't want to build a pyramid of. But yeah, you can put it under your bed, because then it would suck up that hyperdimensional energy and then shoot the laser through, boom, and through your head, and it kind of activate your chakra that way. But, whoa, the computer keeps putting itself to sleep. What's up with that? Gotta wait for the pyramid computer to come back alive again, even though I've been wiggling in it. So here we are, yeah, meditation, yeah, people raw, service to others, tarot. Yeah, they're really into tarot, so I'm going to give that a try. Third density, can't remember. Wanderers, yeah. So yeah, you do have wanderers, which are people, I already talked about that, who come from other places and come down here to help people. Balancing the chakra densities, those other higher self, miscellaneous objects, positive path, raw, sexual energy transfer. I guess, yeah, I guess sex is different for men and women. Oh, I do remember them saying something about like, when you become more of a high society and a higher dimension, there's less, less one-on-one marriages where you marry somebody for the rest of your life. And so maybe that's being manifested in this world today, and so many more divorces. Maybe it's just natural to only have a wife for a few years, and then you go through that lessons with that person, you learn whatever you had to, and you experience them, and then you go on to somebody else. And so maybe, celebrities divorce so much because they're like, they're like royalty. They're like, maybe they're closer to the higher self, or maybe they're more advanced beings, I don't know. Or they're living more relaxed lives, so they're more educated and more attached to. So maybe they're actually living the life of how we're all going to live in the future, where you only have a spare spouse for this amount of time, and then somebody for this amount of time, and it's more. And maybe you would even have lots of sexual partners at the same time. I remember Alice Bailey said that they were doing that in Atlantis for a while, but then they took it too far, and that's how they got like sexual diseases and stuff. So that would be cool. Because you do kind of think of, like at least guys think of it like that. Oh, my wife is hot, but that other chick, oh man, I want her. So maybe grass is green on the other side for a reason. Maybe in the future there is going to be more of this whole kind of like the 70s disco party time. I don't know. Anyways, sexual energy transfer. They did say that sex is different for men and women. Women get energized by it. Men get their mind, imagination opened up by it. And it is kind of true, When a man has sex with a woman, he's thinking about all the women in general. Oh, I want to fuck this one out. Maybe thinking about all kinds of different women. Whereas a woman is just like only thinking about the man, that one man, and energized by just that. So I don't know. So teach learning. Yeah, they said the best way to learn is by teaching. And there's teach learning and learn teaching, and I don't even get what the hell they're talking about there. I'm gonna have to read that myself and okay, what's the difference? Or maybe go to the questions and answers, so maybe somebody could tell me now. But yeah, the best way to learn is by teaching, and so yeah, that's also what they were saying. The best expression of service to others is by just expressing who you are and expressing yourself, because you're teaching other people who you are. And who you are is a part of God, so you are, being, because what God is, and they even explained what God is God started with a singularity, and then it expressed itself. It wanted to have a new expression of itself, to find out what that did, and it wanted to do something new. And so it's always wanting to do something new, and that's what kind of trickles down to this world. If you want to do something new, if you want to find out more about yourself, you always want to do something new. You want to be saying something new, you want to be doing some new activity. And so, expressing a new facet of your personality. So that's basically what it is. That's what God is. It's a constantly creating new experiences. So if you wanted to extrapolate that into infinity, if you imagine something you want to do, something on one level, it's going to happen. So it all starts with a dream, and then it materializes. And so, yeah, teach learning. So anyway, service to self, the best way to learn and express yourself is to share. And they said to learn and to study all by yourself and to not to share it, you might as well not be doing it at all. And that will eventually make you crazy and get sick, maybe. So maybe people who get cancer because they didn't share themselves enough. I know my dad died of cancer, and he was a great guy, and he was reading all the time, and he was really smart, but it was hard to get him to share what he knew. Because he was an older guy, 68, born in 1928, kind of older world. Just, maybe you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's kind of hard for people like that to share what they know. And so maybe that's what gave him cancer. I don't know. I mean, he was good at explaining stuff, but just not as good as I would have liked him to be. And so that's how I want to be. I want to be the kind of guy who can just explain and enjoys explaining everything that I know. Like, you know what I know. I don't know 1 ounce more than you do since I just told you. Like, I don't know anything more than what I just told you. And so and the more I teach myself, the more I teach, the more I learn myself, and the more I'm bringing up, because we all have a higher self that knows everything. But it's like it gets clogged, it gets stopped up. All this energy wanting to come and recycle through you, but it gets stopped, and you have to, in order to get this little level unclogged and out, is you have to talk about it, and then it bubbles it up and it spews out, and then you're talking about that, and then this new thing, this new thing I want to talk about. So it creates this flow, and if you keep talking, you keep knowing more and knowing more. And that's what I'm hoping I'm going to get, is that I talk, and then I get it on the internet, and then I know I'm connected to that on the internet, and then I think of something else to say, and then I know that. And then pretty soon I know more, and then I'm listening to more on the MP3 from the stuff that I learned, and then I know more and I know more, and then so I'm learning by teaching. Whereas if I was just listening and reading and hearing and being passive all the time, I would be learning, but I wouldn't be learning nearly as much as I did by teaching. So basically that's my idea of learn teaching. Teaching is the best way is by learning. So that's why everybody needs to share themselves. And I do know that, I imagine a future where you type something on the internet, anything on the internet, on YouTube, because it's way easier to listen to somebody or watch somebody than to read it. Because you can multitask. You can be doing something and listening to somebody talk. Maybe even automatically on your phone, you could be like, your cell phone, you can be like, yo, YouTube, YouTube of the future. Hey, YouTube channel. I want to hear